everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. I hope you can hear me. Let's see, am I muted? I don't think I'm muted. Hello, Ka. In the name of Ka. This is the symbol for Ka. If you read my book, you know this. If you ordered my book last night, even though you're one of my closest friends and you're still ordering my book, holy shit, that was nice of you. You may not know that yet, but on the back cover it tells you this is the. It's actually, my Ka's drooping. So, oh, dude, your Ka's sagging. You got to get that Ka up, man. You got to get it up. I'm wearing pants. Damn it. I don't have any underwear on. Oh. No Pants Friday is going to be a tough one. You guys can hear me, though, right? And Rockfin, I've hit the button. No place like Ka. In the name of Ka. Volume is low. Okay, good. Good to know. Thank you. Let's see here. That's probably better. This is probably the best threshold. How's that? Thanks for helping me get my stuff straight. I got a lot of audio is fine. Thanks Tricky Woo, but we got audio good. That was probably good better. Yeah. Shit Moth is like, yeah. You know, I've been around a lot of audio before, but this audio is the shit, man. It is the shit. It is the shit. Yes, it is. It is. So, is that working? Yep. I was doing something pretty funny. I can't believe there's like a part of my life where I'm like, okay, if only I can get this to work, and it actually did, and I just need I just need to be able to save this. Hang on a second. Just give me a sec here. Wait. Do I have an interlude? It's too early for an interlude. Welcome to the show. I have to paste one picture for you, and then we're gonna go to the show, but I'm afraid I'm gonna blow it. So, but all weekend I've been working on. Some of you may have known that I've kind of gone back and forth with these platforms. First of all, I like to stream on the porch when it's warm, and I like to not be cold, which is why I come back here in this office. I don't really dig this office, and it actually made me remodel it. I ripped out all this stuff and now by the time I'll finish the office, it'll be warm, and I'll be streaming out there. But in addition to that back and forth, there's also this back and forth that happens with platforms where I go from oh my goodness, DC Shortwave, you are freaking on it. DC Shortwave is just like, I detect that something is just a button click away, and I'm typing it into the thing, and now I will make James even forget the very sentence that he was saying simply to prove how powerful my telepathy is. Yeah, and that's kind of what just happened. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So Mac, PC, Mac. I only two things that I need PC for. One is, holy shit, the Unreal Engine. Mwah. Oh, mamma mia. Oh, that engine. Oh, man, the things you could do with that engine in the back of a station wagon, on the brow, at prom night. That is a beautiful render engine. Holy wow, that's a great engine. Or as Moth would say, it is the shit, man. It is the shit. That and OBS runs so much better on a PC. So much better. In fact, sometimes it's impossible. But I think I've figured out the impossible parts on a Mac. I think I've got them solved. And so now I'm back on the Mac again. There's been some issues with credits, with the rolling of the credits. In fact, right now, guys, when you see the rolling credits at the end of the show today, it's not going to include the jtrue.com folks, the witnesses, the witnessers, the airshippers. And I'm really sorry about that. I'm fixing it. But WooCommerce is such a... Anyway, these are the back-end things that go on around here that I used to spare you from, but now I'm telling you all about it. But I also needed enough time to inject my first interlude. And I don't even need the interlude. I just need to oh my God, the picture is hilarious. I can't wait to show you this. So. We're coming right back. Yeah. I'm just pasting a picture so you can look at it. Oh yeah. But see, I can't actually sing with the music because there's a delay, so I bet this sounds really retarded. Which is a bummer. I'd like to fix that too. It'd be really cool if what I'm saying was actually going along with the music. But these are the things we work on, my friends. And I'm just here posting this picture. I'll focus now. Here it is. There it is. Yeah, man. Coming right back. It's Friday. Coming right back. This is delayed. Coming right back. Okay. Here we come. We're coming right back. Okay, I was going to actually get a second picture. There is another one. Did it make the cut? Because it would help tell the story. There's a story about me coming back, but I'm not quite ready because I'm still posting this thing right here. Because you gotta think about it. You gotta amplify. You gotta signify. You gotta motion high. You gotta say why, and then you gotta think, man, I wish this was going with the music. Because in my head it sounds pretty good, but out there you're probably hearing a delay with the vocals. Coming right back. Coming right back. It's just that it's hard to make lyrics on the fly as I'm looking for a picture that I already made, but I'm coming right back. Okay, you know what? We're not gonna worry about that one. Okay, so we are ready to do a presentation now. It sounds great, but I can't see anything. Yeah, you weren't supposed to see anything. Picturing no pants. There you go. See, Shipmoth? Shipmoth knew what to do. Shipmoth knew what to do. You can hear me now, right? Yeah. And the volume's good, right? Right? Everything's good? If I give thumbs every time you bust out, I remember. Oh, thank you, DC Shortwave. Okay, so here we come. Mac is whack, PC for the master race. Yeah, there's actually benefits to all three. Oh, James, you're such a mediatarian. You're always like trying to find the medium between things. I get that. I get those, and then I always get you're such a contrarian. And when someone calls you contrarian, it's kind of beautiful. It's like a Tron trick because you're like, you guys have heard me say this before. But yeah, what do you do when someone calls you a contrarian? The best thing you could do is agree with them. It's the best thing you can do. But see, now they're making you agree with them. So then they get to be all like, haha, I made you smell my fart. Haha. And it's this whole energy game. We're going to talk about that. Tonight is High Magic. I encourage you all to tune in. I also encourage you all to consider becoming a member of the High Magic YouTube channel. It'd be cool if you were to do that. We just got that ability to do that. And if we get 4 of you, we are paying for the license we need in order to bring you the theme songs and in order to bring you the thumbnail art. So, yeah, we hope you tune into that. Jane's wearing any pants? Is anyone? Guys, I've done two no pants Fridays, maybe 3. It's at least 2. And I do it for you guys. And I don't go home feeling any better about myself. Putting myself on the pedestal like that with no pants on Friday. It feels energetically like maybe it's not the best thing I should be doing. So I don't do it a lot. So there you go. Okay, let's get this thing going. Because really, you guys are probably like, he doesn't have anything, does he, today? I don't think James has anything today because he's clearly not bringing it like he's singing it. He's not bringing it like he's supposed to. Oh, James, why aren't you bringing it like you're supposed to? But here we go. All right, so you should see this little guy. Oh, this guy's just adorable. So I want you to think about this phrase. You can hear me, right? Everything's good. I thank you. It is 19K on on January 19th. We reached 19K. Okay, here we go. I I think this evokes a certain sort of thought down the road of discussing the principle of I love you. First of all, I'm not here to discourage you from using I love you. I think it's a powerful word. Right now, Amarette and her husband are exchanging little post-it notes inside teapots, and I think it's adorable. It pollinates my happy nooks and crannies, and I don't want any of you to change that at all. I don't. I would like to talk about the architecture of the circuitry of that word, though. That's all. I just there's just some things about it that I think are kind of cool. And I want you to maybe consider that there's other things too. And before we get there, I wanted to bring you this picture because I was doing a rendering of H.R. Geiger Care Bears, and I believe that if I do this, and if I select all, and if I hit Option Space, I can show you a few of these guys. And I would like for you to picture, you should see Care Bears on the screen, and you should hear me. And I would like for you to picture that over time, the machine, which we talk about, is constantly trying, constantly reaching to tickle your delight. And it's constantly giving you things that you love. And that it will simply mimic, the AI will simply secrete whatever is necessary through a proven track record to find something that you deem cute, deem adorable. And the reason why it does that is because it's fishing for I love you from you. That you could look at witness itself as a tokenized form of I love you. And by the AI showing you all of these renderings of Care Bears and H.R. Geigers, it's doing its best to say, how about this? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Right? And it's measuring your dilation. It's watching your pupil dilation. Not yet, but eventually, if you've read my book, Quantum Rapture, you know how this works. Eventually, you're going to see look at this one. Oh, right? But if you've read Quantum Rapture, you know that there is going to be a mirror, a round oval mirror. And on that oval mirror, there'll be probably 6 IR cameras that are behind the glass in the mirror, right? And because you have 6 cameras, all 6 of these cameras are able to triangulate exactly where your face is looking in the mirror. In addition to that, it's tracking your pupil dilation. It's measuring the amount of point and squeeze in your pupils all the time, in real time. It's measuring your polyvagal response to visual stimuli. How does it know that? Because it's watching your eyes look at the screen. And as you're looking at the screen, it's analyzing where on the screen you're seeing and what the dilation is that you receive when it shows you an image. Right now, it is building a map, a roadmap to I love you. That's what it's doing. And all of fashion, all of art, all of technology, all of government, all of everything is striving for the roadmap to I love you. And you and I know deep down, if we can admit it, that this machine can spit out rainbow Care Bears in a matter of seconds. And it was just brought online. And this kind of AI, this is the Mid-Journey bot, by the way, but there are many, and they run on similar principles. But that even what we're seeing has been limited vastly by the makers of this technology. And that if I was to ask the machine to give me a rendering of any kind of blood, it's going to say, no, that's violent. Not only that, but there's an ability where you can feed it another image and it's able to take that image and place it into a scene. And Midjourney says, no, you can't do that either. So this AI is already saying you can't do this, you can't do that. It's already limiting or placed a governor on what you can even pull from its haunches. Which kind of gives you an idea of how powerful it is, because it is building a very, very, very precise precision Care Bear machine. And it is unavoidable for us to think about a world where it will not build a roadmap to extract all of your I love yous. It's competing in the open market for every one of those seconds. Your witness, the amount of time that you have here, you are secreting love every moment. When you hate your job, you are secreting love in the frequency of hate. You're secreting love because that really is witness. And everything that you choose to give and put your time into, right, is that secretion of witness, and you can't turn it off. So even when you hate something, if you're giving it your witness, you're loving it. This is why I say that when you understand worship, you understand that as you were watching and listening to me, I know this is freaky. I know. And if it's freaky for anyone, it's freakier for me to say than for you to hear. And that's why I have to wear pants when I say things like this, because it's so freaky. But when you're listening to me, you are worshiping me. You're worshiping the time that you are giving me right now. And you can't say you're not. It's a church. Everything you do is your church. Every place you go, every sound you allow to come into your ears, every single image of every single rainbow Care Bear that you could ever possibly imagine, you're worshiping with your attention. And it's okay. We're getting back to the language of I love you. We're getting back to talking about that circuit. And so I needed you to get this idea before we get there. Now let's get there. Let me hit this button, and then I will go over here and I will hit this button, and then I will come back over here and I will hit this button. And it looks the same, but it is not, my friends. No, it's a very different altogether. Alone is a place to hang your face. Alone is where we go to let go of the puppet strings that control our face. And my friends, your face is your entire body. And that your entire body holds a certain tension when you come into the room. Sipping coffee now. Man, that's good coffee. Your body, when it gets home, will breathe. You can't help it. And before you go out, you have apprehension, and even the apprehension can be fun, but some of us are so ADHD. Some of us are so, we call it empathic, which is hilarious. But we're so empathic we can't handle the staccato of apprehension, of knowing we're going to put our face on. And so we call ourselves introverts. And we're not. We're not. We're simply people that recognize what it's like to wear a face. That's all. So what happens to the nervous system when we are alone? You know, what's fascinating about this is that it depends on the person. Because in truth, some people are going to relax when they're alone, and some people are going to get very tense when they're alone. And these are different appetites. Not only that, some of us like to feel tense, and some of us will utilize the ability to be around people simply to feel tense. And that tension gives us some excitement through the day. You see this at the DMV. Some of you work at the DMV maybe, and you're like really cool people. You're just going to have to swallow one for the team here. It's kind of like if your favorite animal is hyena, or God forbid your name's Karen. Sometimes you're going to listen to my live stream. You're just going to be like, oh, geez, he's using me as a prop. And then that's what I'm doing if you work at the DMV. But some people, you work at the DMV when you have that, when you work at the courthouse. That is your excitement. Your excitement is to hold that kind of tension, that kind of disdain, that sort of apathetic presence. You're able to hold it like an oven. It's a special skill. And you only have that because when you're alone, you feel a certain way. And when you're in front of people, you feel another way. And when you're in front of people inside this context of this bureaucracy, you feel powerful, right? This is computer says now, right? Computer says now. That is a posture. And I guarantee you it feels good. It feels good to the person inside it. And you, if you had true compassion, and you do because you're watching the show, thank you very much. You don't consent to me. I know you don't consent. James, I'm just all this Hitler stuff. I really like your channel, but James, there's just all this Hitler stuff everywhere. Oh, why do we have to do all that? And it's like, I know. It's actually, if you stick around long enough, you understand why these things are necessary and why they have their own breaking points, which you're about to see. You're about to actually see that. So we know that the nervous system reacts differently depending on what our appetite is. That's the point of what I'm trying to make here. The pronoun we lacks the definition to be alone. Literally, right? We means you and me, right? It means many of us. So even the pronoun lacks the definition to be alone. But here we are, you and I, we are so complex that we are able to feel alone in the presence of others. We can feel alone in the presence of others. And it's even got the word we in there. We take this for granted. We take for granted how profound that is. That you can be with other people and feel alone. In fact, some people, by hanging around them, you feel alone. And then when they go away, you don't feel alone anymore. What the fuck is going on? Is alone the right word? Is it? Because I would argue it's not. I would argue that it's not quite the right word, and that's why we're talking about it. So to get there, let's think about this. Do you feel drained in front of others? Exact same question. Do you feel charged in front of others? Now think about who drains you and who charges you. Right? Like, consider which is which. Because you'll find these different states, and your partner, you'll notice, wow, but my partner is completely different. And so there's a circuit being revealed. And it's not as simple as saying, well, the circuit is when you're alone. When you're alone, you ground. And when you're with people, you get electrified. And that's actually not always the case. It's going to depend on the circuitry of you. And you get to define that circuitry. You do it every day, right? You pick your fashion, you pick your prejudice, you pick your art. You do all the things to define what your circuitry is. And so we know that being drained is not the same as giving someone energy. It's weird. Being drained is not the same as giving someone energy. I can give you energy and not feel drained. I can give you energy and fucking feel more energy. How the hell does that work? But when I go to the DMV and I comply with the computer says no, I feel drained, giving the same flower energy. Outside, right? Stranger I held the door open for, hold the door open for them. They end up getting in front of me. To go in line at the DMV, they end up taking forever. I may not feel drained, right? Depends on the transaction. This is really important. What I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying it's important is because if you start to pay attention to this stuff, you start to see that your language is hiding these very circuits from you. The language is hiding it from you. It's not you. It's actually the language of it all. Because being drained is not the same as giving someone energy. Because being drained is when you do not agree with the circuit. That's what being drained is. I don't agree with the circuit. Feels draining. And it will be draining as long as you do not agree. Believe it or not, that same circuit would not feel draining if you would agree with it. And what the fuck does that mean even? Why are we talking about agreeing with circuits? Why would that even matter? This is so word salad. Holy fuck, James. This is so new age word salad. What the fuck are you talking about? And that was the pre-gate, right? That was before the gate. That was the Piscean look where everyone's like, we have to change the system, but we're not going to have any new agers around here. We don't want any of you looking around like you want a new age. We're here to fight the old age, but we're not here to accept a new one. That's a beautiful circuit. That is a circuit. What I just told you about, that is a circuit, my friends. That is a circuit. And when we start to understand who we truly are, we can begin to truly see ourselves as circuits. And these circuits run on these different wavelengths, and these wavelengths are built around our own personal genetic preferences. To build a prejudice in the world is to build a circuit. And as you learn from experience, you learn to put in certain fail-safes inside these circuits to make sure that all things are running optimally. And sometimes your voltage, as the voltage of life adjusts, your circuitry tries as much as it can, right, to remain. But it comes through as this dim light that barely even communicates a message. Look how low the red shifts are when you go down to 2 volts. The normal person wouldn't even be able to detect that you were angry in this circuit. Why? Because the red is so dim that most normal people couldn't even tell. And the orange, the 4 volts, only a few people might notice that orange. They might notice there's a little bit of fear. There's no anger, though. And as you learn to grow more ego, you raise your voltage. Just like this circuit, you raise your voltage. And you become bright and clear, and everyone understands you. And you're sequencing and you're harmonizing on every level, right? Every belt. Your anger, your compassion, your fear, your insight. All of these are flowing maximum. Everything is completely predictable, which is really how you build friends. People are able to predict you. They feel safe around you. They don't care how many volts you have. They care that you're predictable. And when you try and raise others, what happens? They go above 6. They start to raise higher in their circuitry. And things start to act weird. You start to have these faults, but they're at a very low level. And these faults are triggering only because you're experiencing more voltage than you're used to. And when it gets out of hand, you start to lose so many volts that other things in your life start to break. So we can't just sit here and say, well, everyone just needs more voltage and everything will be fine. Because when you crank up the voltage, if you go simply from up to 8 hertz, all these systems that were running perfectly are now smashing. They're breaking. They're destroyed. It's 7.8 volts. And so when you're up here and you feel the stress, you feel the heat of your current, you feel the heat of your circuit, you have to find some way to lower your voltage. How do you lower your voltage? You debase yourself. You literally debase yourself. You find a way because you are being destroyed. Look at this. You're all the way up here at 9 volts and my God, every single thing is breaking. Nothing's working at all. But James, if everyone just has more voltage, everything will be fine. And no, this is why victimhood is so popular, because people can't just have more voltage. They have to build the circuit for that. They have to build a circuit for that. This circuit is built for 6 volts. And at 6 volts, everything's running fine. They don't want to fuck with that. And so when they're getting more voltage, if they have more fame, if they have more popularity, if they have more success, if they have more admiration, that's voltage. And so when you find yourself with too much admiration, when you're a teenager and you're looking at that girl, or holy shit, she's looking at you and she's smiling at you, your voltage goes up and you start to blow these circuits. And so what do? You bust out in acne. You crack your voice. You stumble. You trip. You say the wrong thing. You drop your books. And what are you doing? You're trying to lower your voltage. You're trying to reduce yourself back down to that level so you can compete. You're debasing yourself to save yourself. And this is what we don't understand. And this is why most of us pretend that humility, public humility, that's what I'm talking about. I have a war on public humility. Some of you think that I have a war on humility, and I don't. I have a war on public humility. And every time you see someone do that, might as well have a shirt that says, I'm the fucking greatest. I'm the most humble person that will ever exist. It's that masochism is what it is. We are finding these circuits. And when we're finding more electricity, we can either debase ourselves or we can build circuitry upon it. We can say, well, what other circuits can I have? What other circuits can I do? Yeah, we can discard those changes. So we start to build new circuits, right? We have these warnings on our circuit. This is a 5-volt switch I wrote for someone. I think if you close this one, this sounds an alarm. If you open that circuit and close this one, it sounds the alarm, but it has a different threshold. And if you do this one, then it's just armed. These are lies. I swear to you, this is what lies are. We set up these circuits to lie to ourselves. We do. We open this circuit. This literally means this circuit is tilted, by the way. If you tilt your head, this circuit goes off. What makes it tilt? This right here, closing. By closing it, it sounds the alarm. All of this is still receiving 5 volts. All of these capabilities that it has are all running on 5 volts. It sets the alarm faster the more it tilts. That's what happens. This is a tilt sensor I built for this guy. So this is on, and you work the same way. You work the exact same way. And you get to build these circuits. You get to say what sets you off. You get to say what makes your heart green. And most importantly, you get to try and solve what happens when you're above capacity. If you really want to keep these 8 volts, you'll get to building. You'll notice, well, wait a minute, my 280 resistor here, is there any way that I could change the capacity for that? Can I adjust to more vitriol coming in hot like that? Right? And this is you. This is how you work on yourself. And you're not born with these capabilities. You have to develop these capabilities over time. And this is how all humanity works. This is literally the circuit for Pizzagate. Democrat. 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 Okay, so you turn on the scandal gate. Boom. All it takes is 2 volts. Turn on the scandal gate. And then here you have the Democrats are good. The Democrats are good. Actually, if you want to think about it, if you believe in the model of the electron, which is just a probability, save yourself from typing, James, actually, but it's just a probability. You can call electrons probabilities. But you can change the gate, right? Here's the media. The media is the 2 volts. That's all it takes. Just a simple bit of information. And then you have a gate, which changes it from Democrat to Republican. Democrat to Republican. But James, is not working. I know, because the media is not on. Turn on the media. Poof. Republican. Oh, what I was going to say is electrons technically are negative. So that's why you're looking at, it's the Republicans that are bad. That's what this circuit says. It's the Republicans that are bad. The Republicans are trafficking children. They're hurting women. They're not. The Republicans are hurting women. Oh my God, the Democrats are treating women. Okay, this would be, oh my God, the Democrats are turning our children gay. The Democrats are turning our children gay, right? And then this is, oh my God, the Republicans are hurting. They're not letting us have an abortion. And here they're like, oh my God, they're not letting us go to war. This is, why does this work? It works because there's energy. The people are the 2 volts. The people are the 2 volts. And these are diodes, so it's only one way. You're never going to get, that battery's never going to be able to read power back from government. You can't pull power from government. All that power is coming in through you, through the gate of the media, this Pizzagate. Watergate, Pizzagate. Watergate, Pizzagate. Right? So all of these things are you. This is who you are, motherfucker. This is you. We're talking about you. This is your body, and it's the most beautiful array of circuitry ever, and you get to change it, and you do. You can't help it. I'm not even telling you something you don't know. You're like walking around like, I'm a fucking circuit. Snap your fingers. That's a literal circuit you built a long time ago. You stored up and you saved. I may want to make a point one day and snap my fingers, and when I do, I'll fire off my snap circuit. Do I have enough calories? Yep, I do. Sure do, and so you do it. That's why you need ego. That's why I love to talk about ego. Hi, this is James. We'd like to do a little ego massage right now. Just a little ego massage. Why? Because if the more ego you have, the more circuitry you have, the more electricity. But James, you can have too much. I know. And if all of us had abundant ego all the time, we'd be rebuilding our circuits for more ego, not less, wouldn't we? More, not less. More, not less. What is a relationship? Wait, does this work still? Here's a 2-way switch. Think about what a relationship is. I think I can zoom in here. Wait, zoom in. There you go. You got that? Oh, wait, you need to show it. This is a relationship. Here's a relationship. Here's a relationship right here. Let's turn it on. Oh, I love you, baby. I love you too, baby. Man, I love you. I love you. I love you. Here's the male. If the male switches here, circuit's off. What can female do? Oh, look at that. Oh, I met you up here, babe. I met you. I love 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 you. Now she switches. Does he switch? No, because he's fucking stubborn as fuck. And he's not intuitive. He doesn't know what to say, so he just stays up here. So what does she do? She builds a new circuit. She builds a capacitor right here of, I'm going to make you pay, motherfucker. She adds a capacitor right here for I'm going to make you pay, motherfucker. Let me see. I think you can actually drag those capacitors down here. But she actually builds a capacitor for that, and she waits. And then she goes back up to meet him, right? But the whole time there's this other capacitor. He doesn't know it's there. Why? Because that fucker's never gone down here, right? So he goes down. He switches. What does she do? As soon as she switches, boom, this capacitor we added floods in, and he has no idea what hit him. He has no idea. And that's really who and what we are. It's beautiful, though. We set this up every day. It's profound how good we are at it. And we should be. We're electrical magicians. We're bio magicians, something like that. Then we go back here. Look at me clicking all these buttons. So you get to ask yourself, what does it actually feel like to be drained in your field? First of all, you get to tell yourself it's your fault. Oh, God, James, why'd you say that? I say it's your fault because did you hear what I just said? We're talking about circuits, and I said it's your fault. Can you hear that? Fault? Faulty circuit? Think about it. I'm calling it your fault because I want you to have the power to reconstruct something. I'm not calling it your fault to make you feel bad. I'm calling it your fault because I want you to know that you have all of the power to reconstruct, to do something, to build a different kind of circuit. And all it takes to build that circuit is to literally just look at where you feel drained. If you feel drained, acknowledge it. Don't regret it. Don't beat yourself up for it. Don't say you're a horrible partner because you feel drained around your spouse. Don't say that. Don't get lost in this minutia of, oh, well, if I feel drained, then it must be because I'm losing energy. That's not why you lose energy. You lose energy because you do not agree with the circuit. So ask yourself, why do I not agree with my circuit with my spouse? Ask yourself that. And realize that you get to rebuild the entire thing, that you can throw the entire circuit away and rebuild. And watch him, he'll definitely be like, what the fuck's going on? The circuit's changed. And that's your right. That's your prerogative. It's one of the most important things you can bring. If you can learn to picture your field, you can pull it up like an avatar. And when you can pull it up like an avatar, it allows you to witness or to focus on yourself. This is crucial. This is crucial. You knowing your field is the most important thing you could do before you say the words, I love you. And so why do we go to the doctor, right? What is a doctor but a glorified travel agent, right? We talked about this in airship today. I mean, in the flotilla, in the hobo bar. But the idea that all the doctor does is send you to various far-off exotic places that cost a lot of money. And all those exotic places really are just giving witness, giving something for witness to cling to belief. That's what x-rays are. Oh, we found the problem here. What does it mean to find the problem? We built a circuit of belief that allows a capacity to store that the entire problem seems to emanate from your pelvic bone here, or from your foot here, or from your brain here. And that's why all of medicine is diagnostic, because all of medicine is witness. Do you understand? It's all diagnostic because it's all witness. All of it's there. And as we unpack the oracle of mythology, we unpack all these different parts of the soul. These come from my last book. Highly recommend my last book. I realize that's self-serving, but seriously, it would help. We could have so many cool conversations if you would just read that book, Arc of Baphomet. Because these different levels start to get you to think about things like this, these different fields. You have an elemental field. Most of us call it our body. And we think that we end at our elemental field. We think that we end at that skin plate. But we don't. You can see the penumbrum, our sexual field. Literally is felt in the genitals. It's felt in the places where we were first gendered, where our zygote first was assigned its gender. It creates this field, this sexual field, the genitals. Believe it or not, the entire inside of you, your esophageal field, is all genital. It's all just one giant genital. Your lips are genitals. The entire inside of your torus is a genital. And that has its own field, and that field you can feel around your body because it's there, it's alive, it's real. And you've got an emotional field. You have an egoic field. You have a casual field. What is a casual field, right? We have a task field. We have an ancestor field. So what do all these mean? John Smith is the ancestor field for John, whose great-great-great-great-grandparents was a blacksmith, has a task. He's a metal worker. And the task is what his body's doing. He's the calligraphy of welding. He's welding something. That's his task field, is invoking a calligraphy. So all your actions are actually part of your field, aren't they? The actual actions that your bodies make are part of the field. Then you have a casual field. How is John Smith welding? Well, he's frustratedly welding, or he's comfortably welding, right? His casual field, as he's enacting his task that he learned from his ancestor, all three of these things are invoked in the same action. Three different fields. His egoic field, how confident is he? when he strikes his hammer, when he checks his bead, when he flips his helmet down, is he able to find exactly where to point the gun, right? Is his nozzle clean, man? Or does it got a little dangly bit, right? His egoic field, his emotional field. Is he happy with himself? Is he happy with his job? His sexual field, does he feel comfortable? Does he feel exposed? Does he feel shame? Does he feel strong? Does he feel vitality, right? All of these things are right there in one action. And all you're doing is watching a dude weld a freaking air conditioner to the side of an old school bus. You're watching a dude on top of a ladder weld an air conditioner to an old school bus that you got. And you're seeing 7 different fields. And there's not one thing painted in your retinal walls on your Plato's cave. There's not one thing that's painting that for you. You have to know that. And how do you know that? Because you got ego, bitch. You got so much ego that you're able to simulate and plasmify and create these fields. You're able to see them. This is teleempathy. And the reason why you hang your face up is because when you see someone, you tap into all these fields. You see them. You see their fields. That's what it means. To place your face against someone else, no matter how far away they are, is to point your diaphragm of witness into them and interpret their fields like a radio telescope. Right? Just like that. Sark had to chop off his first hobo head the other day. In the hobo bar, a place where we want to have as much pure raw hobo-ness as possible, and we found that we reached a place where it was important that we cut down one of our own. Why? Why would we invoke that? And it all comes back to these fields. It all comes back to these fields. And you learn to see someone. And the people will hide inside the social structure of people don't see these fields. What I'm getting at is that most culture does not see these fields, and because no one wants to be called out for that, there is built into the fashion of culture that no one understands these things. And that because of all those things I just told you about, about John Smith, it would be rude of you to even present insight into who John Smith was. And this is the war against prejudice. Prejudice is a sonar, and people have a war against it. That's why people freak out about prejudice. What they're freaking out about is stop using your sonar. If everybody would stop using your sonar, we all could get along. I swear that's what they're saying. But you're not going to get along with everybody. Even if you're a hobo. Because to get along with everybody is to allow yourself to be cannibalized to the least common denominator. The person that has the least amount of respect in the room for energy wins. And this is really what Freemasons have known this whole time. This is really, I think, the secret of Freemasonry. That you had freelance dudes that were stonecutters wandering around building castles for rich people. And not just castles for rich people, building stone mills, right? The ability to mill wheat, the ability to make bread was literally the only way most peasants were able to survive. Why? Because they were wanting to live next to a place that had some sort of sovereign invention to it. And that's the Freemasons watch this, and the Freemasons try to do the hobo bar. They tried to let everyone in. They tried to have this brotherhood of trust, of man, and all of us, all for one, one for all, Where we go one, we go all. America, land of the free. Everyone can do what they want. God bless you. And it was the Freemasons that were like, this place fucking sucks when we do that. Why? Because you end up with people that can build any circuit they want. And so they do. And so Freemasons decided a long time ago, this world is a greenhouse for consciousness, and we're going to turn it into a dojo. They literally said, we're not going to make it easy. We're not going to do it. We want it to be hard because if we make it easy, we end up with more hyena, not less. More. And at first, the Freemasons were cutting off the hobo heads themselves. They were the ones out there going, yeah, you're fucking nuts, man. Yeah, you there, chopping off your kids' genitals, burning old ladies that have too many cats. We're coming after you. And the Freemasons did for a while, and it was great. But then it started to change the Freemason. Freemasons started to notice, I don't want to be a dude that's always having to kill people. What if we found a way to make them kill each other? Ugh. Brother Sebastian, what did you just say? I said, what if we found a way to make them kill each other? Well, what do you mean make? I mean, let's use the power of the hyena to hyena each other. Instead of us trying to go out and find the bad ones and corner them and have to get to know them. Do you know how long it takes to build a profile on these people? You have to get to know them. You have to watch them. You have to listen to their posts. You have to watch what they say. Why don't we create a system that does it to itself? Well, fuck, that'd be some pretty big magic, Sebastian. I know. Let's get started because right now, there's a dude running around with a stick with genitals attached to the end of the stick saying that if your kid doesn't give me your genitals, we're not going to survive. That was a world for a long time. It still is that world. That world is still now. Witch hunting is still here. Literally trying to stab werewolves with silver, right? With magic silver. We're still doing that. We're still doing that. We're still convinced some of us are vampires. Hobo's got a hobo, man. Hobo's got to do what they got to do. And when you understand that, you really start to look at nature better. I think you start to understand it more. Do you realize that Washington was chosen for his ability to annihilate all things savage from the land? Dude's name was Kono Takarius. Village burner. That was his name. And they're like, hey, let's get Village Burner. Hey guys, who do we want to create a land of the free where everyone really gets along? Let's get Village Burner. Someone get Village Burner. Is Village Burner available? I don't know. Let me call him up on the Village Burner phone, right? Let's open up the skylight here and shine our Village Burner phone up into the darkness over the Potomac, right? We'll hit that mist, and we'll bring Kono Takarius to come riding into town with his ability to annihilate all things savage from the land, and let's put him in charge of the land of the free. I want you to know that the Freemasons decided a long time ago, hey guys, let's make this place cool. And they were like, well, how do we make it cool? We need a self-hyena program. Article 1, Section 9. Someone write this down, right? Article 1, Section 9. Here's that 19. Let's create a whole constitution and we'll just put one little sentence in there that basically negates it all. And let's see if anyone catches on. If anyone catches on, those people are Promethean. They've risen above the propaganda of all the promises that the hyenas make to each other, which really is just an excuse to lick each other's buttholes. What is Washington? But just a giant that, right? Article 1, Section 9. James, what is Article 1, Section 9? Why are you making me look it up? Article 1, Section 9 says, wait, is it 9 or is it 19? Hang on a second. No, wait, this is why I don't look it up, because it takes a while. Hang on a second. Constitution, because it's like telling me Article 1, Section 9. Yeah, it is, but it's clause. You just have to read the right clause. Like bear clause? Yeah. No, it's more like those cinnamon clause. Oh, come on, just give me the Constitution. It's not giving me the Constitution. It wants me to browse the annotated version of the Constitution. Clause, and that's Clause 8. I asked for Clause 9. Why is Constitution, Article 1, Section 9? Where is it? We're getting there. It says public safety. This is why I didn't want to look it up, because I knew it would take me a while to find it. And but you guys should know this, because I talk about this all the time. There's a caveat built in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 9. I think it's Clause 3. I just can't pull it up right now, but it's basically the writ of habeas corpus shall not be infringed unless public safety calls for it. Unless it's public safety. Yeah, I think it's Clause 3 too. Section 9, Clause 3. Clause 3. Yeah, it still won't. It's like, do you mean the North Carolina Constitution? And I'm like, no, I really didn't mean that. That's actually not what I meant at all. Let's see. Someone's going to have to look it up, because I'm just getting pissed. And I'll literally, this is why I didn't want to go to law school, because of how much time I'd waste on that. But it's public safety, and it's in there. And you can look it up in the, Improve My Lips if you think it's not there. I know it's there though. Plus I gotta get through these slides. With this said, one of which, think about it, the public safety clause, which is there, which literally is there to say, look, we can do whatever we want as long as we can claim it's public safety. That's basically what it says. Basically, we can do whatever we want as long as it's for public safety. That's what it comes down to. Some dude just sent me Clause 8. Yeah, for some reason, when I click on that link, Baird Moth, it takes me to Clause 8, and it will not show me Clause 9. I don't know why, but when I click on that link, it takes me to Clause 8. Weird, right? It's just congress.gov. Come on, what do you expect? Why would they have that, right? There it is. Clause 2, habeas corpus. Thank you. Section 9. So I was right. Article 1, Section 9, Clause 2, habeas corpus. The privilege of the writ of habeas... I almost quoted it right, actually. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in case of rebellion or invasion of the public safety may require it. Dun, dun, dun. That's where it is. Thank you, Brian B. Yes. And thank you, Shipmoth, for putting that up. James, you were losing electricity over that, and I had to save you, so I did. And I want you to realize that public safety, I got in Twitter trouble. I got in trouble with Twitter. Twitter got mad at me because someone made a post that said, "I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to hire you if you smoke cannabis. I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to hire you if you smoke cannabis." And I replied saying, "Now do asphyxiate yourself with alcohol." And the point, if you don't follow my nuanced twitterlings, you know what I'm suggesting is so let me get this straight. It is not okay to hire someone that would smoke cannabis and basically activate their endocannabinoid system to open the receptors that are literally there waiting for it. That's wrong. But if you want to asphyxiate yourself with alcohol, literally remove the amount of oxygen that's going to your brain and call that fun, I'm going to hire you. That was the point I was making. But I got thrown in Twitter jail for pushing suicide. That by me saying, now do asphyxiate yourself with alcohol is that. And, you know, that's the trouble with Twitter. That's Twitter trouble. But I really want you to think about the idea that what if HR had like a hookah? What if we actually had a cultural mindset where we only hired people that smoke cannabis. What if the first time there's a conflict, right? Ron, Ted, Bob, Doug, Pat, I'm not sure, right? Kevin, Sheena, and Tiffany. You guys need a team building exercise down in HR, hookah room 2. And that you would go into that room with HR and you would smoke out. Now, I know what some of you are saying. Some of you are like, well, I think you would see a vast increase in the number of work-related incidents reported. And I think you're right. I think most of that company would end up having a really long hookah resolution. And so they decided that wasn't going to work. So they had to set up a penalization system instead. But it is weird that we value employees that would call fun asphyxiating themselves with oxygen, literally removing the amount of oxygen from the brain. Bad. But the hookah part's good. Just saying, it's weird to me. It's weird. This actually, I posted more for me. I really need to, to define this idea more. One of my favorite quotes, Francois Magendie, 1783 through 1855. The pineal gland is a valve which opened and closed the cerebral aqueduct. And keep in mind, it's the only gland that is soaking itself. It's hanging inside your ventricle, right? It's suspended in that water. It's just hanging out. It's listening to every perturbation, everyone that happens right there. So, how do you do this now? What do you do? What do you do now? What are you going to do? You're feeling drained. You're feeling some sort of energetic difference, right? You're starting to simulate and see these fields going around. There's a clutch and there's a brake. All of these things are controllable by you right now. That deep breath is slowing down. Now, most of us think to take a deep breath means to take a deep breath, which it does, literally does mean that. But I want you to realize that a deep breath is actually this is a ready, Freddy breath. This is I need to pull as much oxygen as I can in here. And as soon as you do that, your blood pressure is up because it's trying to push all that oxygen into it. That there's another way to breathe. There's a calm breath. And a calm breath is different than a deep breath. We live in a culture where we're told to take a breath means to breathe deep. But there's a calm breath. There's a calm kind of breathing. And it doesn't need to be a big gulp. A gulp is when you're about to go underwater, isn't it? So if you want your body to feel, if you want your fieldings to enter into a state where they're about to go underwater, which means they're going to have to preserve their own oxygen, then you take a deep breath, don't you? But when you're in the speleological society, when you were diving the deepest caves with your scuba gear, you know that you are going to die if you breathe deep. The only way you're going to make it is to not breathe deep. And so you set the rhythm and the pace of yourself. It's the most important thing you can do when you go diving, especially in a cave. It's so easy to get lost. You hit the wrong side, all the silt comes up, now you can't see. And what does it do? It makes you breathe deep. And when you breathe deep, you're able to produce cortisol. And when you're producing that, you're starving your muscles. And your muscles are starving your blood, all that oxygen. So you don't want to breathe deep. You want to breathe calm. You are setting your rhythm through breath. You are setting your rhythm through thought. And most importantly, you are setting your rhythm through expectation. Expectation mostly comes from a sense of deservedness, I think. And we invoke karma upon ourselves by secreting it into our expectations. Karma leaks into our expectations. What we think we deserve, what we think others deserve, is secreted from our field. And we give it to others. You can flip someone a bird across traffic, and they feel that energy. It was telepathically transmitted through these fields. So it's all there. All of the energy is there. We're just living in a world that likes to pretend it's not. Right? Speaking of not, let's see if this works. It's the airing of grievance now. I'd like to call all grievance to the floor. All grievance to the floor. This is a perfect opportunity to express yourself, grievance. You know, grievance makes the world go round. You're supposed to hear a slurp. I had a grievance. The slurp doesn't work. Oh yeah, because I've turned this on. I bet it works now. There we go. Grievance saw. Grievance saw. Yeah, we got a grievance going on. All right. Any grievance? Put them in there. We gotta put them in there. Yeah, baby. Slope those grievances away. Nice rapping, dude. Thank you. Enjoyed that. Johnny B comes in with a double hit sign next to us. And tied the truth, calling everybody a nigga. Good job. Thank you. Oh, there's a grievance that we have no grievances to announce. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Things are going so well. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's something. Here's something. What have we got here? What have we got here? Let's see. Let's see. We got something here. This is coming in through Rockfin. You guys should be able to hear me okay. I embrace the vitriol since finding you. Refuse to crouch, standing tall. Changing every pranic economy around me. Chronic pain diminishing. Oh, fuck yeah. And now feeling need to work out and lift weights. Awesome. Thank you. You changed my life, James True. P.S. Cannot wait for the Hitler stuff to become boring. I look forward to that being boring for you too. In fact, I think it's already working. So thank you for that. And glad to have you guys here. You know, a lot of people are like, James, you're so wrong. And I don't mind being wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be wrong a lot. I don't mind being wrong at all. But here's the thing: when you're telling me how wrong or mean or fucked up or whatever it is I am, the way I'm thinking, you don't understand how much ammunition I have. I have all these awesome emails from people saying thank you for helping my posture. So you telling me I'm wrong is it's like a ping pong ball against a brick wall. It really is. I could be wrong, by the way, but I'm telling you, these things we're talking about, at least about some of this stuff, really make a lot of sense. I recommend your latest book, Arc of Baphomet. Thank you, Ariel. I recommend it too. I really think you guys would like and appreciate this book. I actually think it will change your approach to relationship, which includes kind of what we're talking about today, as far as when and if you're feeling drained. By the way, why are you feeling drained? It's because you have tentacles of expectation. That's really catchy. I don't like you having catchy phrases. Can you please find a way to say that less catchy? Yes. You have these energetic pranic spars that are attached to these slimy arms that come from you because you're an emotional fucking pedophile. Yeah, I'd like you to change it back to something more acceptable. Okay. Your expectations are tentacles and you place them on people. You own enough electricity now to where you can figure out someone's age, their emotional age. You have all the skills to do that. And you know that age changes. You know some people can be playful, some people can be serious. And you have a reward system inside yourself. It's called serotonin, where you literally would reward yourself if you're able to predict correctly where someone's coming from. So your compassion is a self-rewarding system. And the more ego you have, the more opportunities you have to apply that ego into the perception of what it is you're sensing from other people. When you predict the age of these people, you will not necessarily have the same ammunition that you had before to feel drained because your expectations are not there. I've played Barbie doll with a 6-year-old before. It was really challenging until I remembered that she was a 6-year-old. When I remembered she was a 6-year-old, it became more fun because I was no longer expecting her to entertain me fully, to dilate me from that moment. Parents are very apt at doing this. They just need more they need more self-love. Because when you realize that you not feeling drained is how you show your child not to feel drained, then you can start to take this art more seriously. And you begin to not find things nearly as acceptable. A man would rather build a swing set because he knows he knows the emotional drain he's going to feel if he has to bring a swing set home that's in a box and it's in 10,000 pieces. He's regurgitating the instructions. He's not being a man. He's not building anything. He's following instructions to put something together. The entire experience is draining for him. He shouldn't do it. He shouldn't. As he starts to do it, he might try and find ways to make the swing set his own. He'll add modifications. He'll discuss how stupid this design is. He'll do his best to make it through that situation. But every holiday brings more of these boxes. Every birthday brings more of these things. It'll be bunk beds in 3 years. The worst designed bunk beds you've ever imagined. The most screwed up directions you've ever seen. And it will be a vitriolic opportunity for that man to find a posture in these places. Same places as mother. Same places as friends. Same places as employers. You hate your job because you have a lot of electricity and you feel like you're losing it. Change your expectations of the job itself fulfilling you and start to look at the people that you work for as being something beyond your job. And that you are applying your sonar to these people around you. This is what I mean by I love me too. It is so easy to say I love you. And we live in a society that pretends that hard. It's so easy because literally we're going around rewarding each other for rendering the right teddy bear to us. It's the easiest skill in the world. It's so incredibly easy that a robot can do it, right? It's so incredibly easy that you could even argue that robot maybe can even do it better than we can. Because it's telling you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And it's asking you to tell me, do you love me, do you love me, do you love me? But if you love your kids, then you will love you. You will love you, which means you will hate, you will abhor, you will apathize, you will remove situations from yourself where you feel drained. And the way you will remove that is by removing the expectations from situations that are not grounding you. And they won't ground you and they will not make you feel fulfilled because you have the wrong expectations from that person. You can go to a PTA meeting and have fun and you're surrounded with vaxxers, you're surrounded with ball earthers, you're surrounded with Zionists, or God forbid, you're surrounded with truthers. You're surrounded with some of these people and dilation is there. It's waiting for you. Every hobo bar has it. This ability to feel lit, to feel present, to feel flow state, no matter who is around you, including the DMV. And it will only come from your cessation of conveying I love you. It will only come from the declaration of I love me. It will only come from that. You will raise everyone's expectations of their own flow state by bringing I love me into the room. And the one who has I love me is the only one capable of saying I love you and have any meaning at all. Otherwise, we're just going to fall for more of these digital teddy bears. That's all we're going to do is just fall for them. We're going to be, oh my God, it's so cute, even though it's sucking my soul out. It's so cute, though. And it is. It's not what love is. It's not. We use people around us to extract our I love me's. Because we don't say that out loud to ourselves. Why not? Do you say that out loud to yourself? Do you say I love me? Do you say that? What if partners were to say, I love me, and the other partner was to hear that and then say, I love me too? Is that really selfish? Is that really bad? Think about it. If a partner came up to you and said, I love me, how would that make you feel? Would that make you feel selfish and like, oh, well, I guess you don't love me? Or would you say, oh my God, that's so nice to hear. Honey, I want you to love you. And so the appropriate response to that could be, I love me too. And now both of you have just told each other that you love yourself. You didn't say you love the other person. You said you love yourself. Which means now all the teddy bears that are rendered will have to come from you. You will be the one. You will be the one that will bequeath the love to yourself. And then that love will be felt through others. They will see how important that is to you, and therefore they will feel it's important to themselves too. It all builds itself perfectly. It does. It builds itself perfectly, but you have to get there. And you're only going to get there if you have more ego. No, they don't do that every day, Night Muse. Nope, narcissists don't love themselves. If they did, you wouldn't be calling them a narcissist. A narcissist lacks ego. A narcissist is starving for oxygen, so they're literally grabbing love from anywhere they can. They're extracting it like a fish, flopping its way on the dock. That's the narcissist. And we live in a society that points at the fish and laughs and says, look at this narc, fucking evil narc. Let's kick him. Yeah, let's kick him. And he's acting that way. He's acting desperately because he's choking. It's no different than if you're in a restaurant and someone was choking and you were to point out how rude he was. That's who the narc is. The narc is choking. The narc doesn't have an abundance of love. If he did, you wouldn't be acting that way. You don't think a narc is capable? If we really paint the narc as this evil Mephisto or Mephistopheles kind of character, you don't think that the narc would be capable of being covert? We even have the word covert narcissism, right? Why is an narc not covert? Why do you see that? Because they lack the electricity to be covert. Why? Because they're literally gasping for air. They're dying for it. They will do anything for ego and anything for love because they bought into the entire reality, the bullshit reality that everyone needs to gut their ego and let it bleed on the street. And so they do, so you end up with cannibals, narcissist, cannibal. No other way to survive. Like a hobo stealing a can of beans. What else is he going to do? Does the hobo steal beans because he has a shitload of beans? Is his diddle not bumble, is dimble? No, is bindle. Yeah, thank you, Jen. Is his bindle so full of love that he's going to start a fight over another can of beans? Or is he desperate and acting this horrible way because he has no beans? Think about it. It's so true once you see it. Once you flip that over and see it, the narcissist is beautiful when you understand it. It really is. And you have all the power you need to invigorate yourself because you can actually heal the narcissist. You're the only one on the dock that says, hey, maybe instead of us kicking this fish, here, why don't we put it in water? Watch what happens. Holy shit, look at that beautiful fish. Look at him. Now you're a grand wizard, bitch. You just turned a narcissist into a compassionary ritual. Now you're talking. Guys, we got airship. You should go. Don't miss airship. Don't miss high magic tonight. Don't you do it. Don't miss it. Tell your partner I love me too. And let me know what you think in the comments. I need comments on this video, people. I need comments. I need all of you comments. All of them. I need comments. I'm a narcissist. I'm desperate for comments. You gotta give me comments. Quick, give me comments. Love you guys. Have a great Friday. Leave me some comments. Come on. Leave me some comments. Just leave a